he's going to walk, how he's going to talk. And his hands, when he say hello, the human is like, hello. And he watched the hands, he watched the guy, he understand maybe he should do something. And he put his hands like this, because he doesn't know how to say hello. And that's just 5 seconds. And we work for days just for that. And the alien is an actor with half of the costume. And why he has half of the costume? Because I don't want the CGI people to do whatever they want. Because I think sometimes when they're all CGI, you feel it. You feel the mechanism of the thing. So by putting pieces of the costume, I oblige the people to follow the actor and follow the costume. They can't do whatever they want. They have to follow the guy. Yes?
Hi Luc, my name's Maria. I'm a massive fan of your work. I know you don't want to talk about the Fifth Element anymore, but I have a Fifth Element tattoo. I'm such a massive fan. I have loved your work for a very long time, and there are a lot of blockbuster filmmakers that make their movies a bit of a sausage fest. And one of the things I love about your movies is that you've always had really complex female characters, from Nikita to Matilda to Lucy to Lilo. Why has that been so important to you to make sure that interesting, complex women were depicted in your movies as well as the men?
You think they're not important?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think they are.
That's why. I was raised by my parents divorced, and I was raised by my mom after 9 years old, and we were living, very in a small, probably 10-meter square apartment, no water. Yeah, I know it sounds like Victorigo, but that's the truth. And she has a lot of dignity. She has to work, find the money to take care of his kid, and that's the image I have from the first woman. The second one was Laureline in a comic book, and she was pretty strong. She kicked ass to aliens, and so that's the first images I have from women. And for me, when I start going to movies in the 70s or 80s, and you see these big guys, very pretentious, and the girl is just a blonde crying in the back. And I didn't understand it. I love James Bond except for that. Oh, James. Fuck off. So, but I try not to compensate. I think I try in my film to give the best role I can for a man and the best role I can for a woman. So Leon is great, and Matilda is great, and Corbin Dallas is great, and Lilo is great. Laureline is great, and Valerian is great. So I just try to... Sorry? Yeah, Nikita, the guys are good too, but... Yeah, she's a tough one. Yeah. But, like Lucy, for example, Choi Min-sik, the Korean actor, is just amazing in the film. He scares me, this guy. Maybe the last three, because I see some people trying to. Yes?
You said earlier to my friend here, if you have nothing to say, shut the fuck up. What are you trying to say with Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets?
Sorry, I don't understand. Where?
What are you trying to say with Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets?
Oh, I try to say many things, but I'm not responsible. You just have to propose something. You don't know how people will react, and I guess a kid of 10 years old won't grab the same thing than someone who is 70 years old. So what I'm doing is I'm shaking the tree. If the fruit is ready, he will fall. If he's not ready, he won't fall. So I try to say many things, and maybe one of the first one is, are we sure we cannot live together? That's one of the biggest themes in the film. That's pretty clear, I think, at the beginning. because we see a Russian and American shaking hands and smiling to each other. Yes, they did at a certain moment. And then we see the Chinese, we see everybody coming, and then we see aliens, and we try to do the same. We try to welcome them and share knowledge. And that's what I think one of the big themes of the film. The other one is these people who are perfect, the pearls. They're what we should be after 25 centuries of knowledge. We should be as wise as them. They don't know fear, they don't know power, they know equity, they totally live in accordance with the nature. They are who we should be normally. They're the perfect beings. And why are we destroying the best of us? For money, for purpose of politics? And that's the story of the film. So at the same time, but honestly, if a young kid see only the fun and the color and the monster and is laughing, I'm happy too. I mean, I don't want to oblige anyone to feel. I'm just putting on the table a lot of things, the things I want to say, and then I let you pick up what you want.
Hi, Luke. One of my favourite bits about that movie was the amazing range of aliens, creatures, they're just so diverse. How do you draw inspiration? I thought I saw some African jewellery on the mule natives, but a lot of it was just so incredibly beyond anything that we know. How do you draw inspiration for your creatures, even in The Fifth Element and this movie?
So that was a long process. I met a couple of artists who work with big studios, big American studios, and I interviewed them to know how it's happening in the studios. And I realized that these guys, these young guys, usually they're 19, 20 years old, they're very frustrated because they hire for 6 weeks. We ask them 5 drawings per week. And when they come with an idea saying, oh, can I try this? We say, no, stick to what we ask. So I try to use that. So I sent a letter to 2,000 schools around the world, graphic schools, and I said if you want to participate to a sci-fi film, I didn't say which one, you have to send an alien, a spaceship, and a world. And we received 2,000 submissions, and we picked up 12 of them. I hired the first 5 for a year. They're not allowed to see each other. They don't have the script. And they talk to me once a week through Skype. One was in Brazil, the other one was in China, one in US, 2 in France. So I try to isolate them, to protect them. I want them to have the entire full capacity of creation. They don't even know the script. We were just talking about the world, universe, matter, fusion, everything. And after a year, they came back with 5,000 drawings. Crazy shit. Some of them you want to call police. You say, I have to call the police. Or at least the hospital. And then from that, I start with the script to do the puzzle, because even if we don't get in exactly, we need to feel that everything, it sounds logical. All these different aliens, it works. It's all together, we don't think about it, but you say, yeah, okay, it looks logical. They really don't look like the same, but it works. And my inspiration was New York. New York, you have Wall Street, white guy, ties, attaché case, the hair like this. And then on the street you have an Indian guy with a turban on a cab. And then you have the Jewish area where the long thing and the black hat. And then you have the Chinese, cooking and they don't speak English. And you have the Italian, like, okay, next to it. And all these people are living in like 2 miles, you know? And it works. It makes me work. So that was the model. And when we have to find with Alien, okay, who is the Italian one? Who is the Jewish one? You know, and that's how we work. And even for the city of the mule city at the beginning on the beach, the inspiration is the village in Greece. You know, we take pictures and then we change every houses by a shell. So there's, even if you don't understand it, there's a logic in it. Because they have a logic when they do the village. So we copy them.
Luke up the back.
Oh, black.
Yes?
Your casting is always perfect, whether it be an Altman or a Renault, or in this case, Clive Owen. Do you start knowing which actors you want, or do the characters develop into the actors, or is it just purely casting?
No, it's casting. When you write for someone, when you write for someone, you're gonna write what he's able to do. And I don't think it's right. You have to write first, and then the actor has to scratch his head, say how I'm gonna play that. But if I'm writing for someone, I'm gonna write what he can do, in fact. So there's no surprise. So I try to never think to anyone first. Yes? Yeah.
You adapted Tiny, the old series back, 7, 8 years ago, and did it in French. It was another comic book franchise from France. Why did you make Valerian in English as opposed to keeping it in French like you did the old?
We are the 28th century, so the language, honestly, and to be honest, we have a couple of good actors in France, but not enough. And we have like, what? There's a lot of brilliant American actors, Australian actors, a lot, and English actors. There's, I presume, good schools. But they're good, they're really good. The French, you know, they wake up at noon and... No, you know, I'm gonna make this film. No, you know, the one who works a lot in France is the women, the girls, the actresses. They're very focused. You know, Marion Cotillard and Cécile de France, and there's many French actors who are good. Thank you, sir. Everybody hear it? Yeah. The balance with the production designer on this one particularly, I must say, and I work a lot with these 12 artists that we talk about, and everything almost was done by them. And on this case, he really had to follow the drawings. We create the entire world on drawing first. All the aliens, all the weapons, the stage, you know, the location, the spaceship, all this was created by this young artist. And there's not so much that he really created, you know. The only one that he really created was the club, Rihanna's club. Because that looks very rococo, so he had done it. It's cool.
Most creators will know it's like being creative is an incredible mixture of overblown egotism and expression. I mean, you've been working on this project for 9 years. I'm sure you're in a moment where all of a sudden, like, you've lost your faith, you've lost your
the secret is probably the preparation and the time. I start working on a project saying to myself, let's try. So for 2 years, it was not even a question of making the film. So we put the seeds everywhere and we went very slow. So in fact, during the shooting, everything, I finished 3 days earlier. We were so scared not to be at the level that everyone prepped like crazy. And we secure everything. Every question was erased before. We knew. If you have a question, we ask the question 3 months before, 6 months before. Every shot's a special effect. You have one sheet of paper with 3 drawings. First image, middle, and end of the image. You have the numbers of frame of the shot. Not even the second. This is a 72 frame shot. And what we call the handles, you know, like what I had before and after the shots, we're 4 frame. It's 24 frame in 1 second. I have 4 frame at the beginning, 4 frame at the end. That's how precise you have to be. So, we honestly, it never happened, in fact. I was focused doing everything, and I don't even remember of one day where I started to lose myself saying, oh my God, what I'm doing, or anything. I remember in the middle of the film where there's so much special effect involved that I remember saying to myself, oh my God, I hope they know what they're doing after. Because, you know, if the special effects are not good in the scene, I'm screwed. Because, you know, I cannot, if the alien comes and he's not perfect, it's an actor with half of the costume. So, you know, sometimes you're just scared by that sometimes.
Everyone, if you could please give Luc a round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mike. Bye-bye.